It's official. Texas Tech has landed the commitment of Washington State/Charlotte transfer center, DeSean Jackson. Hey, how's it going, everybody? I am RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on Texas Tech men's basketball all year long on your one-stop shop for everything news and rumors regarding the program. It's Back to 12 podcast, of course. All right, we talked about DeSean Jackson in a video not too long ago on the channel, and Texas Tech showing interest. He indeed has committed to Texas Tech after going out to the 806 and visiting Grant McCasland and crew, right? When you look at what DeSean Jackson brings to the table, he's 6'10", 250, a center. Right now, he's probably around 275. Did get medically cleared to come to Texas Tech, but as it's time up in Washington State, he averaged 6 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, just over a block per game. In the one season, he averaged more than 15 minutes. And that was in 2021-2022, where he averaged about 16.3 minutes per game. Appeared in 49 total games for the Cougars up at Washington State. And when you look at what he brings to the table, he's a really skilled big man when he's in shape, right? His playing weight should be around 250, and he knows how to use his body really well down on the block. Not the most athletic big man you'll ever see in your life, but he knows how to play well below the rim and use his body to be in the proper position, whether that's on the defensive end or rebounding, right? Offensively, he's skilled. He knows how to keep his head up, knows how to pass out of double teams that come at him due to his size. Solid passer, really loves to get to his right hand and go up and over guys, right? And he's not afraid to bully you on the block as well. But the thing that really stands out to me is he's an impact defender. He doesn't have the quickest feet, but again, I've said it multiple times already in the first 2 minutes of this video, he knows how to use his body well. He knows his body better than anybody out there on the floor and on the coaching staff, right? And so when he goes out there, he knows how to use his size and his weight to his advantage in terms of the defensive end. And he really does know how to navigate the lane really well with his feet laterally, right? But if you're asking him to go out and, guard on the perimeter, probably not going to end up too well. Really, when I look at him, I really like Jackson from the standpoint of this expectation-wise. He's a serviceable big off the bench and can potentially play in that 15-minute range for you, maybe a little more if there's foul trouble to Warren Washington on a given night. But I like what he does on the offensive end. He understands his game well, just needs to get into shape and make sure that medical condition is good to go. But I really like what this brings to Texas Tech from the standpoint of the 5 spot. You've got 2 guys now that are 6'10" and taller and bring different things to the table. Warren Washington is an athletic big man that is just going to jump over you, be quick, and really good in the pick and roll. Jackson is more that physical guy down there. Again, 6'10", 250, can set a mean pick on the pick and roll, understands how to play on the low block, has a little bit of touch as well, and really can impact things on the defensive end, much like Warren Washington, just in a little bit of a different way. So I really like where the 5 spot stands for Texas Tech right now. Again, I'm not coming in and expecting Jackson to be one of those guys that's always going to be an all Big 12 player, since he was a former 4-star recruit and was expected to start at Washington State and got honorable mentions as a freshman in the Pac-12. I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting him to be a really solid role player for Texas Tech that may play starter minutes on some nights if injuries or foul trouble is a problem for the Red Raiders in the front court. So I like this addition for Texas Tech, but I want to hear from you guys. What is your one word to describe DeSean Jackson committing to the Red Raiders? It's going to be the pinned comment down below. Let me know your one word to describe DeSean Jackson committing to play in the Scarlet and Black and for Grant McCasland next season. Now, I forgot to say this too. He does have 3 years of eligibility left, so that's a nice little adage right there when it comes to his commitment. But this is how the current roster stands after the DeSean Jackson commitment. Okay, you've obviously got Pop, you've got K'Ron Lindsey, you've got Robert Jennings, you've got Kerwin Walton, Demarion Williams, Lamar Washington, Chance McMillan, Darion Williams, Warren Washington, Emeli Alahu, Drew Steffi, and now you got DeSean Jackson, right? You got 1 scholarship remaining. There's 11 scholarship players right there. I think when you look at it, or 12 scholarship players, right there. I think when you look at it, it would be great to have a wing. Obviously, it'd be cool if Arthur Kaluma was the guy there. But you're going to have to go out there and use that scholarship and maybe wait a little bit, okay? Here's a tidbit that I just thought of the other day after talking to a couple people. Listen, you may see some guys graduate college here in the summer and then enter the portal as grad transfers. So Texas Tech keeping that one scholarship open for a grad transfer that maybe hasn't hit the portal yet because they haven't gotten enough credits to graduate. After summer one, they may do so. It's kind of sneaky in my opinion. Right now, again, everything has to come to fruition on that standpoint, but that's something to monitor in the standpoint of maybe they're keeping that scholarship open for a guy that's going to hit the portal potentially as a grad transfer here in the next few weeks after they officially graduate after summer one or maybe even summer two. And then they get into the program, and then that's when you see that final scholarship taken. Again, though, you got Pop, you got Lindsey, Jennings, both of the Williams, both of the Washingtons, McMillan, Yalahu, Steffi, and Jackson now. It's going to be interesting to see what Texas Tech does with that final scholarship. But if you ask me right now, again, you need a wing. Hopefully that happens if you're the Red Raiders, but obviously things haven't gone according to plan on the wing aspect of it in the portal for the Red Raiders. But overall, you look at the roster, I like the guards and I like the fives. It just seems like there's a lot of what ifs right now when it comes to the wings. But again, DeSean Jackson commits to Texas Tech. He is a former four-star recruit out of California, went up north to play at Washington State, was a solid producer up there, was supposed to start for the Cougars last season, but had to take a medical redshirt year. He has 3 years of eligibility left, stands at 6'10". His playing weight is 250. He's a skilled big man that impacts both the offensive and defensive end of the floor. If I had to guess, I think he's probably going to play in that 13 to 16 minutes range a night and really be a guy that goes in and gives a different look for opponents when it comes to Warren Washington and him. And that's something that Texas Tech desperately needed, not only the different look aspect of it, but having a legitimate other big on the roster from the standpoint of having a 6'10" guy and higher. And listen, DeSean Jackson is that. He is an absolute mountain down in the paint. But once again, the Red Raiders land a really needed and highly, really coveted at this point in terms of in what you look at from his recruiting standpoint. Obviously a little bit different in terms of the coveted aspect right now because, well, there's not a lot of roster spots remaining around the country and also the medical aspect of it, but Texas Tech has cleared him. DeSean Jackson will be a Red Raider, and if you were excited about that, like the video as Texas Tech lands yet another center in the portal, this time in Washington State/Charlotte transfer, DeSean Jackson, who averaged 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks during his time up at Washington State. I am RC Maxfield reminding you, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button to stay in the know on Texas Tech athletics all year long, specifically men's basketball and football. I'm giving you daily videos on both. So hit that subscribe button to stay in the know right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.